What's up, guys? I know one of the last videos I uploaded was a life update, but there is something that I forgot to mention in that video that I realized later, and then a lot has happened since then. We made a trip out to Chaco. We worked on our kids' paperwork, so I'm going to update you on that. And then also we have got some not so good news, and I've been holding off on sharing that, but I do feel the need today to address that, both because I don't think a lot of people that make such a big move like what we have from Canada to Paraguay or anywhere from one country to another country really address it ever, but it is quite realistic for some, and it's become reality for us. So it's also going to change the content just slightly, possibly. I'm going to do my best to keep up with uploading and keeping the content relevant, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. That has led us to make the decision to go back to Canada. That is certainly not something that we were prepared for or we're hoping to need to do this soon. But in previous videos, I know for sure the second one that I ever uploaded was where I was talking about things that we were struggling with here on getting started. One of the things was selling our vehicle. We had imported a Mercedes R350, which was a great vehicle. It had 7 seats, it was a diesel, and did really well on fuel for the size of vehicle it was. So it was everything that we wanted, but in Paraguay, you have to be really, really careful on what you drive where. And it was just not right for our location. It would have been great for inside a city or something like that. But we ended up wanting to sell it both because of that, and then we could also use the money to help our business get started a little bit better. We ended up getting rid of it. We ended up trading for a Toyota Hilux, which is a great truck and it holds its value really, really well. And the reason we ended up trading is we knew that it would be way easier to sell, and yeah, we have had quite a bit more interest on that. There is a potential sale that's going to be happening, but it's not 100% certain yet, but hoping that's going to all work out the way that we like, and then we can get started a little bit quicker. We also have made some progress on our children's documents. They officially have Paraguayan cedulas, which they got the right to have because my husband and I are both born in Paraguay. So went through repatriation, they got their cedulas now, and progress has been coming because we hired someone to end up doing it for us, which was great. It didn't quite end up going the route that we would have liked, because they have the right to be home here. They also have the right to a birth certificate so it's like a Paraguayan birth certificate, but all their birth information from Canada, the location, date, all of that is the same as it would be on the Canadian birth certificate. They have the right for that, which means that even if they end up leaving Paraguay, say when they're adults, for X amount of years, even more than 3 years, then they always have the right to come back and be home here, as opposed to the route that it went now, which somewhere in the immigration office, it didn't quite go right, and they ended up getting on the process to getting a carnet, and that is what they're going to be getting next. We made a trip to Asuncion a week and a half ago to process that part. So now we got to just wait about 3 months before they get the carnet, and then we're finished with their immigration process. Straight from Asuncion, when we were done with our children's documents at immigration, then we went to Chaco. Since we had the opportunity, we went there for a weekend, and it was a really good experience. It is so different there. I could hardly believe how different it could be from one end of the country to the other. I do want to make a whole nother video where I go into more detail on what that was like, but it was really good to catch up with friends and family that we have there. On the second day that we were there, our kids were starting to ask to move there, which for me personally is a no-go. There must have been something in the air, dust or something, that my eyes were not in favor of. I was sitting all weekend, anytime I was outside, wiping my eyes, like just all teary-eyed and whatnot, because I don't know, they were just irritated. Now what I'm about to share, I'm not going to go into too much detail out of respect of privacy, and because it is such a personal thing and I'm not the only one going through it, and I want to respect everyone else's privacy as well, but it is going to affect my upload schedule. It is going to potentially affect my content a little bit, and it is not news that anyone wants to get, never mind anyone who lives so far away from everybody else or from their immediate family. Me and my husband are both the only children out of our families that live here, and everyone else is back in Canada, our parents, our siblings, or I do have one sister in Texas, but we are the furthest away, and out of the two of us sisters, we are the only ones who don't live within short commute. And then while we were in Chaco, we did receive the news that a family member who was diagnosed with an illness about 2 months ago. It's been making things a little more difficult. It's affected our schedules just a little bit, and since we have made the decision to now go back to Canada and see our families, and because it is so close to Christmas that we are going anyway, we are going to be staying there over Christmas and then coming back right around New Year. So that is the plan right now, and obviously I don't know how things are going to go exactly, but we're just going to take it day at a time. And yeah, so I just want to also touch just slightly on how important it is to have all your ducks in a row. Things like this can happen, and you never know when it's going to happen. Obviously, it's not something that you want to happen, but to have, I just thought of it yesterday. I'm so glad that my husband and I, that we have our life insurance policy that we kept in Canada. I made sure before we moved here that we were going to be good if we left it, and that it wasn't going to be, oh, you're in Paraguay, you know, it's going to be useless. But I was told by the agent that we went through to get it from with Transamerica that it was going to still be in effect, which is great. We just left it the way that it was. And then also got health insurance shortly after we got here, about 6 months after we got here, and we were somewhat settled. We got that, and which has already been of some use. So that is really important to have. And then also to have an emergency fund for things like this, because a lot of things have not gone quite the way that we would have liked, both with things in Canada, that loose ends that we haven't quite tied up, and things have gone really slow here so far for us. I mean, they are starting to be on a roll, but it just makes it a little more difficult for us to do things like this when emergencies like this do come up. We do believe that God can heal anyone from anything, but obviously one thing for certain always is that at some point or another, all our lives have to come to an end. So we always want to be prepared for the worst, but hope for the best. But I'm going to try to have as much content prepared ahead of time so that I can still keep up a little bit better. We are really grateful that the kids are coming right to the end of their school year by the time we leave on this trip. They're going to only be missing the last couple of fun days. All the academic stuff is out of the way by then. And the teachers, we are so grateful that they are so supportive and understanding. And they've been praying for us, which is really great, so much appreciated. And we are also working on becoming members at the church, which contains an 8-week course. We are going to be missing the last little bit of it and the day that they officially take up new members, but they've also said that shouldn't be an issue and are accommodating for a situation like this. It's not like we are just getting up and going on a trip because it came to mind, but it is something that is very necessary. And because it is so close to Christmas that we are going anyway, we are going to be staying there over Christmas and then coming back right around New Year. So that is the plan right now. And obviously I don't know how things are going to go exactly, but we're just going to take it day at a time. Can I just say how extremely grateful I am to all of the subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. It really helps my channel out, and for all the comments that I've been getting. And if you ever have any video ideas for me, anything specific that you would like to know, I obviously share a lot of my own experiences, and then I do research to back up some things, and it is really great to see the reward in all the effort and the time that it does take. So thank you again, and if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so.